Ever really stop and think about how we put sentences together? It feels automatic, but, well, language has some really cool structures going on underneath.
It really does.
And today we're diving into one of those, serial verb constructions, SVCs for short.
Yep.
We're looking at this analysis, serial verb constructions, syntactic analysis. And the mission is basically to get what these are and why linguists find them interesting.
Right, without drowning in technical terms.
Exactly. Like, what's the core idea?
Well, fundamentally, we're talking about situations where you have, like, multiple verbs working together inside a single clause. They often describe related parts of one larger event.
Okay, so more than just listing verbs.
Precisely. The analysis first tries to pin down, what is an SVC? What qualifies?
Right, because I ran and jumped doesn't feel like the same thing. That's just two actions linked with and.
Exactly. That's coordination. SVCs are often different in how they handle the participants in the action, the subject, the object, the arguments.
Ah, the arguments.
Yeah. What's really neat is how these verbs in an SVC can, share the same arguments.
So the same who doing the actions or the same what being acted on?
Uh-huh. Think about a hypothetical example from a language that uses them heavily, like, he went home, cooked dinner, no and needed. The he is the subject for both went and cook.
Okay, that's clear. It's like they're sharing the workload for that part of the sentence. So how do linguists actually, spot these? How do they know it's an SVC and not something else?
Well, there are diagnostic tests, syntactic tests. Think of them as little experiments you run on the sentence.
Like poking it to see how it reacts.
Sort of, yeah. For instance, with and, you can often switch the order. I bought milk and I went to the store. Might work, maybe with a slight meaning shift. But with many SVCs, if you change the verb order, the sentence becomes ungrammatical or the meaning just completely falls apart.
Ah, okay. So that suggests a tighter bond between the verbs.
Oh, much tighter bond. It's not just two separate clauses loosely joined.
Got it. Now, if you have a series of verbs, what about time? Tense and aspect when things happen, if they're finished. How does that work in SVCs?
That's another key feature. Often, the tense or aspect marking applies to the entire series of verbs.
So one timestamp for the whole sequence?
Pretty much. Or a shared sense of completion or ongoing action. It's like the whole verb chain is treated as a single unit in time, which again points to that tight integration.
Okay, these verbs really are collaborating. Now, the analysis also mentions light verbs. What's the connection there? Sounds a bit abstract.
It can seem that way, but it's quite interesting. Light verbs are verbs that have, let's say, bleached semantic content. They don't mean much on their own. They mainly provide grammatical structure.
Like do and do like.
Kind of, yeah. Or take a look. In some SVCs, one of the verbs might function a bit like that it helps structure the event or adds grammatical nuance without adding a whole lot of independent meaning. SVCs give us good examples of this.
So it's helping the other verb express itself properly.
And what about constituency restrictions? Does that mean how the verbs group together?
Exactly, it's asking. Does the whole string of verbs, like V1 plus V2 plus maybe V3, function as a single unit, a single constituent within the sentence structure?
And is the answer clear?
Not always. That's actually a point of debate and ongoing research. Different analyses propose different structures. Those syntactic tests we talked about, they're often used to argue for one structure or another.
Right, more linguistic detective work. So how do SVCs help us understand argument structure more broadly? Like how verbs assign roles, who does what to whom?
They're really insightful here. Because you have multiple verbs potentially contributing, SVCs show how the task of assigning roles like agent, patient, goal, etc. can be distributed across verbs within one clause.
So one verb might introduce the doer and another might specify the thing being affected.
Precisely. It demonstrates a more complex interplay in how the sentence's argument structure gets built compared to a simple single verb clause. Very cool. And finally, are these things rare oddities or are they pretty common?
Oh, they're widespread. That's a huge reason they get so much attention. You find them all over the globe. West Africa, Southeast Asia, East Asia, the Americas, Oceania.
Wow, okay, so definitely not just a quirk.
No, it suggests this is a pretty fundamental strategy languages can use to package complex events efficiently.
Okay, so wrapping this part up. Serial verb constructions. They're these sequences of verbs in one clause acting together. They share arguments, often share tense aspects, might involve light verbs, raise questions about constituency, and show us interesting things about argument structure.
That sums it up well. They really challenge simple models of sentence structure and show the incredible diversity and efficiency of human language.
Definitely makes you think. So, for everyone listening, maybe pause and consider your own language. How do you express a sequence of closely related actions? Even if your language doesn't have classic SVCs, thinking about how verbs team up might offer a new perspective on the grammar you use every day. What kind of collaboration is happening there?